Hello cozy gamers, and welcome back to the Cozy Gaming Club, where we talk about all the cozy games. October was such a busy month for cozy releases, and I ended up playing quite a few of them. So I thought I'd make a video discussing all of the pros and cons I found to help you decide if they're the game for you. Let's jump straight into the reviews with Bilkins Folly. I was instantly sold on this game because it has treasure hunting and a dog, two things that I love in games. In Bilkins Folly, you play as Percy, who's searching for his missing family members, when he's suddenly shipwrecked on a desert island. With no crew or boat, you'll need to puzzle your way off the island if you want to continue the search for your family. Firstly, the direction of this game is just phenomenal. The pixel art style is gorgeous, the music is incredible, and the writing was just so funny and witty. The game is just full of heart, but also has just the right amounts of silly too. Having said that though, when you're chatting to the characters, there is a slightly annoying Simlish-esque nattering in the background during the conversations. I had to turn it off because it irritated me too much, especially when they repeat the same phrase twice in quick succession. The greatest thing I've experienced in this game, by far, is that there's a hug command. At any point on your journey, you can crouch down and give your boy Drayton a big old hug. And I'm gonna need this in more games because it's so cute. And it's not just for aesthetics either. Hugging Drayton raises your relationship with him, which lets you unlock new skills, or tricks as he's a dog. There are so many to unlock and they'll help you out as you progress through the game for solving puzzles. Drayton will also dig up historical artifacts as you explore, and in return for giving them to someone, you unlock pieces of this giant treasure map jigsaw puzzle thing. Also, maybe I'm just dumb, but the puzzles in this game are really hard. I'm playing on normal mode, and while the main questline isn't too difficult, the side quests are just so hard to work out. There are also so many of them, and I'm one of those players who needs to complete the side quests before continuing with the main quest. While completing the quest, you'll collect a lot of different items like treasure maps and ciphers, and there's a handy quick look button to access them. But it was a little frustrating that you couldn't easily cycle through the clues you've collected. So if I was working on one quest, but then collected an item for another quest, instead of being able to quickly swap between the two items, I'd have to go to the menu, change to the quest tab, scroll through the quests, and then make the relevant quest active. Then I could close the menu and open a resource screen. I found it very convoluted, and I would have just liked to be able to change easily between each clue page. Also, not everything is recorded in the quick clue tab. One character will sing you songs as hints, but the songs are quite long and difficult to remember. So you need to constantly open your menu, navigate the quests, scroll to the right quest to read the song. Again, and again, and again. I really wanted to enjoy this one, but I'm finding it just too difficult at the moment, and if there is a hint system, I couldn't find it. I might go back to it again soon to try and continue, but sadly I feel like this is going to be a game I have to play with a walkthrough open next to me. It's also a big shame that this game isn't available on Steam Deck. I think it would have been the perfect Steam Deck game. This next game works perfectly on Steam Deck though. A Tiny Sticker Tale is an adorable adventure game about using the power of your magic sticker book to change the world around you. Fans of Lonesome Village may recognize the cute art style because it's made by the same team, Ogre Pixel. The overall style for this game is very charming, from the art style to the animal characters and the soft music. The sound effects are also fantastic. A Tiny Sticker Tale is, well, tiny. I managed to complete the main story in about 80 minutes and finished off the collectibles in another hour or so, apart from the one locked behind a second playthrough. While this may be a con for some players, in a time when so many games feel bloated to increase their playtime, I really enjoyed this small cozy adventure that didn't overstay its welcome. After completing the main questline, there are a lot of fun hidden secrets to discover as well, like a cult, some buried treasure, and a fairy glen. I found the sticker mechanic really innovative. It felt so rewarding when you figured out what sticker you needed and you could just pull it out of your sticker book. I do think the sticker book was maybe a little bit too small though. It was very frustrating trying to squeeze all my stickers in when I didn't know which one I would need. Having to run all the way back to collect a sticker I'd left on the other side of the map was equally frustrating. In the later game, you can expand your sticker book, but I didn't get my first expansion until after I'd basically completed the full story. Another issue I had was that there's no quest log for you to keep track of all your side quests. I think this would have really been useful because there were a lot of different things to remember as you played through the story. I do like that if you want to go for all the collectibles though, you can track them in your sticker book, and there's also your tent to decorate too. Honestly, the main quest line felt a little bit like a second thought to me compared to the rest of the game. I wasn't really attached to the characters, and although it clearly wanted to create an emotional experience, it just didn't work for me. Despite that though, this was still a wonderful bite-sized adventure, and I really did enjoy playing it for the unique puzzle mechanics. If you're looking for a longer game or a game with more depth, this probably isn't the game for you. But if you want something short and sweet, then definitely check this one out. This next one, I wasn't sure whether to buy or not, at first, because it's an early access game. But it ended up being really cheap for a life sim, less than £7, and it's not just any normal life sim. Instead of leaving behind the big city to go to the countryside, you actually move to the big city to start your new life there. This was such a unique take on the genre, and it's made by a solo developer, so I decided to take it for a spin, and I wasn't disappointed. When you first move to the city, you get to choose between 4 different apartment choices. I went for Cedar Court, and I really do think this was the right choice for me. I'm so invested in the community story associated with this apartment building, which is about renovating the building to save it from getting torn down. I love that the community plays such a big role in this game, and I almost want to restart to see what the other community projects are like. As for my apartment, I went for the smallest one, but I still think it's cute. I haven't worked out how to decorate it yet, but I am looking forward to that part. When I visit the other NPCs in my building, they all have completely unique spaces, and I'm hoping I can do that with my apartment too. Also, when you wake up each morning, there are dust bunnies that you have to clean up. They're really cute, but I can see this getting a little bit repetitive. Another thing that I really like is that in addition to completing the task board quests to earn money, you can also collect rubbish from around the city to recycle as well. I love this idea, and it seems like in the future you'll be able to get furniture from recycling too, but the recycling plant isn't open yet. Despite it being an early access game, I didn't really encounter any bugs at all, apart from 2 of my rubbish items getting stuck in the locked inventory space. I also think it's fantastic that you can change your appearance at any time from the menu. As for my cons, well, I don't really have many cons at the moment. It is early access, so I've encountered a lot of locked locations while playing, but I don't know if they're locked because of early access or because I haven't progressed far enough in the main questline. The gameplay is likely going to get repetitive as I keep playing, as most of what I do each day is cleaning trees and collecting rubbish. I do wonder if in the future I'll be able to get a job at one of the stores in town, but I've not encountered that yet. Also, one big issue I have had is that most of the NPCs were so rude. I get that it's a big city life sim and that people in big cities may not be as friendly as people in small farming towns. But honestly, it was really off-putting and made me not want to care about the characters at all. Why should I persevere to befriend these really rude people? And while we're on the topic of NPCs, I think Sage ran almost every single shop I went into. It was really weird, but I'm assuming that's just an early access thing and more characters may be added to make it more realistic in the future. I hope. Ultimately, there is a lot of potential in Moonlight and Garland, and I'm excited to play more of it and see where it goes in the future. I've played about 3 hours so far, so I haven't really had that long with this game, but out of all the games I've played this month, it's probably the one I'll also be picking up again in November. Next up is Cattails' Wildwood story, and while a lot of people have played the original Cattails game, this is actually my first experience with the series. I played 17 hours of this game, and I've already shared a much more in-depth review of this game in another video, which I've linked above, but I'll still give a brief overview here. But first, thank you to the devs for providing me with a code to take a look at this one. Cattails' Wildwood story puts you in the shoes, or paws, of a cat colony leader. After losing your home to a devastating earthquake, you and your tribe have been traveling the world looking for a new place to call home. Which is when you stumble across the mysterious Wildwood. This magical forest has an abundance of herbs and prey for your tribe to thrive on, but there's also a darkness lurking here. When you first start playing, you get to design your character, and I was amazed by how much customization there is, considering you're a cat. There are 2 pages of fur colours to choose from, and if you don't like any of those, you can create your own fur design too. You can customize your home as well, from the wall and floor style to the layout, and all the decorations you choose to put inside. Cattails also offers skills for your character to unlock and upgrade, letting you personalize your experience even more. You can switch out your skills every morning by interacting with your scratching post, letting you take along the skills you think would be most useful that day. Getting more into the gameplay, there are both pros and cons here. I really enjoyed the hunting aspect of the game. It wasn't too difficult and quite therapeutic just sneaking around and collecting all the prey. But the combat, on the other hand, is so difficult. I'm playing on normal difficulty, but those enemy cats still took huge chunks out of my hit points. The mines are by far the worst part of this game, as far as I'm concerned. This is because you only reach a checkpoint every 25 levels, which I found quite hard to reach. There's also limited inventory space at the start of the game, and your items only stack up to 3, making it quite hard to both reach later levels and bring back the items you've collected. For everyone who hates forced bedtime in farming games, there is no forced bedtime here. You're a cat, so you can stay up as long as you want, as long as you have the food and the medicine to sustain you. This was supposed to be brief, and it definitely hasn't been, but we can't not talk about the NPCs. Cattails has a big focus on NPCs and growing your clan. You can get married and have kittens, and the amazing thing is that your colony members can do the same. This may be a bit stressful if you've got eyes on a certain cat, but I think it adds to the realism of the life sim aspect. There are also NPC events to experience, although I do think that the cats could have a little bit more depth in their day-to-day characters. I didn't really get to find out much about each cat despite talking to them every day, and they did tend to repeat themselves a lot. What can I really say about this next game beyond the fact that it's utterly wacky and ridiculous in the best possible way? I'd not seen anything about Ooblets before it was released on Steam, and since then I've been playing it in my members-only streams every week. Make sure to join the Coziest Club if you haven't already. It's just a fantastic game. I love all the cute Ooblets, and I definitely want to collect them all, including all of the rare types in the different colours. As for the dance battles, I find them okay. I'm not really one for a deck building game, but this wasn't that bad. Although it does get a little bit repetitive when the same moves come up again and again. You can't really customize your deck, but adding more Ooblets to your party does help to diversify your cards a little. Also, the little fart sound that they make when you collect a seed cracks me up every time. It's so immature, but I love it. At the moment, there's a lot of Halloween content, and of course I want to collect all of the cute outfits for my Ooblets and all of the furniture for my house. I would say that there are a lot of things to do, and it's quite hard to manage your energy in order to do everything you need to do each day. But that does mean that it's also hard to be bored. There's always something to do, and everything is equally as absurd as everything else. I've not gotten far enough in the game yet, but I have heard there are other areas you can visit, and you can build your relationship with the townsfolk to get cool items. While I know there was a lot of drama about this one, I am honestly really enjoying playing it with my community. Some of the tutorials and UI could be a little bit more intuitive though. We had to Google how to eat food, for example. But on the whole, it's just an absurd game with lots to do, and it's really cute. This next game is the hardest game I've had to review. I want to love it. I really do. In Pizza Possum, you play as a hungry possum who will stop at nothing to eat the king's giant pizza. But to do that, you'll need to eat your way through the map to unlock doors and make your way to the king's court. I played this with Vicky from Garland Games, and we had a blast playing it as a palate cleanser after tackling TikTok A Tale for Two. but we did manage to complete the game in less than 20 minutes. It was honestly hilarious, and we were laughing the entire time we were playing, but this was in co-op, and I'm not sure how enjoyable it would be in single player. The art style is really cute and cartoony, and if you like beating your own high score, then you might enjoy this one. For me, it was really funny while it lasted, but I don't really feel motivated to go back and play it again. There were a few issues I had with Pizza Possum too. I found that sometimes you could miss the checkpoints if you weren't paying attention. I would have liked for them to be triggered by the gates maybe, rather than needing to collect them separately. The camera in co-op mode was also a little strange. When Vicky got captured, it was quite hard to work out where she was in order to free her. But ultimately, this game is less than £6 and a lot of fun to play with a friend if that's what you're looking for. And those are the 6 games that I played this month and all of my pros and cons for each one. Did you play any of them, and if so, what did you think? If you have any more questions about the games I've talked about in this video, please drop them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more cozy gaming content, then I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you next time. Bye!